Happy Monday, everybody. It's November 29th, 8 a.m. my time. Price of Bitcoin currently at 57,300. So over the weekend, I took a break, still traveling, won't be able to be as attentive to the markets, but here's what we got, right? First things first, obviously we had this sideways consolidation. I think a lot of sellers definitely got trapped in this area. And I mentioned, I think on the Friday video that you could maybe see a sweep of the lows like this and then a quick pop up in the market. And it looks like that's exactly what we got right close to the Sunday futures opening yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening time. So now that we have this pop and this sweep for the market, where to from here? I think we got to dial out to some higher time frames. On the 4-hour time frame, you can kind of see that the key SR level here that you want to be paying attention to is this marker, which is 55.6. And you can see that's the one that we kind of tapped, rejected, came back, swept the lows, and took off. Not really necessary that you have to come back here, retest, and then take off, but it would be good, and it would be ideal to go long. So if you do get potentially a retest right here at 55.6, there's your long opportunity. Stop below this low, 53.3. So it's possibly, let's just say, stop is about 4.3%. And your trade is back probably towards, I don't know, like the monthly open, quite possibly higher if we are truly done consolidating down here, right? This can still be seen as possibly a larger consolidation block, meaning we may not have exited the downtrend yet. What we're probably doing is something like this, which is a descending broadening wedge, where it kind of looks like we're just, I don't know, chopping about, or I don't quite know exactly what we're accomplishing here, but for the most part, at least you could see this trend line that's capping price. So as of right now, trend wise, we really haven't changed it. It may look like a very severe pop in the market, but for the most part, honestly, nothing has changed, right? But I will say one thing, which is we bounced off the 100-day moving average. We bounced off this key trend line support, and we bounced off this descending trend line support down here, right? And on top of that, we swept 53.7K right here. So all in all, you have the confluence of 4 different factors that have kind of given you a signal that possible that we've bottomed here, okay? And I personally think that it's better to assume that in this particular area, this is the bottom, rather than to hope that this is the local top and start shorting, okay? What you ideally want to see is if a bottom is created and price shifts away from that, can it sustain movement like this? Even if it comes down a little bit down here like that, as long as it doesn't start breaching back down inside key levels, right? Which you have to kind of dial into, say, the hourly or 4-hour. As long as it doesn't start breaking back inside 55.6, I think you're good, okay? So I think all in all, things look decent here. Okay, from the pivot perspective, you could see we're bouncing off the new weekly pivot. Okay, so if you want to take a long based on the pivot there, long here, stop here. First target profit could be November monthly open and possibly higher. Okay, we need to move this weekly open marker real quick because we now have a new weekly, obviously, right? That's 21st. We are now on the 28th. So let's move this thing and see where we are. Let's do this, and where was it? 18. Is it right here? I guess. Yeah, I guess that's the new, wait, no. I think it's over here. 56.1. Let me see. Daily opened at 57.3. 57.3. Where is that? Hang on, 57.3. Okay, so this is the new weekly open. Okay, so we're going to change this marker here real quick. and make this the 28th. All right, so remember our rule about weeklies and monthlies, okay? Typically, you want price to stay above the weekly open, ideally, the most recent weekly open. And so in this particular area, I mean, all this is obviously chopped. I don't think you really need to worry about it. But if you start breaking back inside the weekly and you're starting to reject that and shifting away from that, it could possibly be trouble, in which case, look for the next support level below, which is 55.6, right? Really nothing else from the daily perspective. Let me see one thing real quick. Volume wise, I mean, kind of dismal volume down here, so not impressive, but good follow through at least on the second candle, so that's not bad. Let's check out liquidation data or anything. 24 hours, 300 million, not anything special. Let me see trading light. Shoot. Let me do this. Actually, you know what? I think we could probably skip that. Let me do this here. Let's go to ETH. Okay, I think ETH is probably important because on Ethereum, let me see here. Okay, I think what we got on ETH here is definitely a looks like definitely a base being built down here. All right, and price still, once again, large range, right? I mean, obviously we shifted away from the lows, but all in all, you haven't really accomplished a whole lot. Okay, still in a very large range that you're stuck in. I don't quite know what to make of the market today, just because I don't think there's enough data. But I think maybe today is also another day of pause, or if anything, I would probably be on the side of just longs, just because, I don't know, like if you have a nice sweep of the lows and, in BTC at least, and it looks like the market kind of took off and it's at least staying elevated near the highs, it's better to go long rather than hope that this movement here is the top and you have to short here, right? So I don't know how I feel about going short right now. I don't think I want to touch it, but obviously you guys know very well in the 5K account, I took off 50% of my Solana and put it into cash. So sitting tight in cash there. In my main account, really not touching anything per se. I have mentioned before multiple times that I've taken profits through the year. Right here, October, I took profits. Where was it? Even here in June. And then I took profits at some point in April as well, if I'm not mistaken. Right, April right there. So I've taken profits through the year. And so for my main account, I still have a bunch of cash on the side. I still have profits through the year. But my 5K account, the way we've kind of set it up, I don't really have the ability to just, take cash out of the account and put it into my real life, right? So we're running an experiment of how we can manage cash positions within the account itself. So it's a tricky situation, but it's full transparency. So you guys get to see exactly how I deal with my hedging and protection of my positions, how I go into cash, at what point do I start changing my bias in the market, et cetera. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. I don't think we had any questions from our members through the weekend, but I know a few people are asking me, like, do I think that the market is going to break down further? Do I believe that we're bottomed here and we're going to head up? And to be honest, without bullshitting you, I will say I don't know. I think the real answer is that as of right now, you really haven't done anything significant. I would say we're probably closer to a bottom rather than, saying that from here we're going to roll over and head down further. So statistically, odds wise, at the very least, we can say that we've either hit a bottom or we're pretty damn close to a bottom. In which case, After you've accomplished the bottom, well, then you have to define what a bottom is. Is this the bottom, or is it a temporary bottom where you just have fuel that you move up with because you're burning shorts and you're making them cover? Or do you have the real move and you start, having massive buyers step up and bid in the market? Because the short covering fuel can only last so long. And those moves are relatively fast, right? Like, for example, if you're just squeezing out shorts, well, then you've trapped a bunch of shorts here, squeeze them up here, and then you just start rolling over again, right? Like, that's definitely a possibility. But the only way to tell that is, okay, well, have we pushed up, and are the sellers once again active, and are they selling back into the market? Are the buyers there? Are they disappearing, right? One of the ways we gauge things regarding buying strength versus selling strength is OBV, which is on balance volume, one of the indicators that we've spoken about before. I think this is probably one of the indicators and probably the scariest things that I see in the market right now, which is if you look at the movement in January, all the way to April and May before we nuked, you could kind of see the OBV elevated here to a tune of 2.25 million positive volume right here, right? And that's these highs up here. Well, now you see somewhat of a divergence, if you will. And the divergence is such, okay, it's this right here. It's this movement that brought us near the highs versus this OBV. And now we're sitting near these highs and the OBV looks like shit. So you could see net buying activity here is actually not that great. In fact, it's kind of terrible. And it's been terrible since we hit this key high right here, because you can see after we hit this key high and a higher high, well, guess what? From here, you have a lower high in your OBV. So that means that net buying activity in this particular area from peak to peak was actually lower. And now you're seeing obviously a drop off in price and now a drop off in OBV. This can easily be turned around, by the way, once you just get a surge of volume and a surge of bidding activity, and then the OBV just kind of rips, right? But for now, the concern is that we're not really seeing the real buyers. And I think we've seen sort of multiple warning signs of this, right? First of all, you've seen the structure of BTC not remain as bullish. You've seen altcoins themselves breach their previous all-time high and then collapse back down inside their previous all-time high, like ETH right here, 4,400, breaks all the way to 4,800, deviation comes back, rejects the previous high, and then starts to break down or at least consolidate in this area, right? Similar to Solana or even BTC itself, right? This is BTC, previous all-time high, breaks up, sells off, breaks up again, sells off some more. Solana, same thing. Okay, these are, top tier assets, right? Solana and ETH and BTC are not some garbage altcoins. These are the market makers, really. Where the hell is Solana in my list? There's Solana, right? So, same thing with Solana. You can kind of see in this particular area, previous high, resistance, deviation, comes back, once again, tries, breaks down. I am hoping that this is one of the failed head and shoulders patterns where this thing just starts ripping back up. That would be ideal, because you guys have known, obviously, that the failed head and shoulders patterns are just fantastic to go long on, okay? And, honestly, right now, I would figure this kind of looks like that. Okay, it looks like a failed head and shoulders because for the most part, you can see that price does not look like it is able to break this neckline down here. This 190 level, clearly a lot of buyers stepping up. So I don't know. It's a very unique area. That's the thing, right? Like when it comes to BTC and Sol and ETH, you're not able to break a key support level yet. For example, for Solana, that's 190. For BTC, that's this particular area down here, which is almost like 54,000, right? And for ETH, I think that level is like 4,000 flat. Okay. So the point is that if you're not able to break that, okay, well, then you're going to push back up. But do you have enough buyers to push back up and head up much higher? And I think that particular question is still yet to be answered because we don't know. In this region right here, though, I will say that a reclaim of this level, see this marker right here, 206, can give the implications that, you know, let me redraw this again because I'm not able to. Let me show you all the implications of this. Okay, so I think it's as simple as this. All right, it's like that. So I talked about this a couple of days back where I was looking for, you know, price to sweep quickly, come back up, and then take off. But it didn't do that. Obviously, just completely nuked, shat the bed. Now, you know, it consolidated down here, even swept those lows with this wick. Now it's trying to sit above this key high. Okay, and if it does that, well, then you have your next target, 232 for Sol. Okay, it's really that simple. Let me see what else. By the way, so I'm not going to be as active to be able to put out charts today. I'm still traveling. So please do pay attention to the levels that I mentioned, to the assets that I mentioned, because I'm not going to be able to tell you through the day that, you know, here's the level that we were looking for. Here's, you know, the buying pressure that we were wanting to see, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So, you know, kind of please just make sure you rewatch the video if you need anything. And other than that, I think everything else looks okay. I mean, I think even Luna looks okay, right? Luna sitting above KSR level right here, around 47, good sign. Broke back inside this previous consolidation. See, this is really the area of consolidation before we sold off. So climbing back inside this is actually a bullish side. All right. Let's check out the stock market and the futures opening. You can see pre-market, Zoom is down. ES, let's see. ES looks like, I mean, shoot, it's a very nice bounce back. So unless, I don't know, unless the market opens today and it's just complete annihilation, you know, like this, I think this is a good sign. This is similar to BTC where this could have been the bottom and then, you know, now we're possibly headed back up. Okay. So temporarily, like we may expect the S&P 500 to make, you know, maybe one more sort of rebound day, one more pause day up here, kind of looking like a doji. And from there, either we head up Wednesday or Thursday, or we once again start breaking down Wednesday or Thursday. Okay. Things on my Twitter feed. I've already told y'all before, you know, some of the smartest people that I know and that you know probably in crypto are telling you to be careful and cautious. And that's Zahir from Split Capital and Suzu from Three Arrows Capital, right? So this is all about them mentioning to you that, you know, be careful in terms of your risk management, be careful of, you know, not having too many levered long positions or having risk to the point where you cannot swallow another sell-off. And here's what you have, you know, from one of my favorite people in crypto also is Light Crypto, kind of signing the waving the flag of, you know, caution multiple times, you know, and how people are still kind of really caught up in their own disbelief of the price action right now, and they don't think that it could go lower. Although I will say that Light Crypto has been wrong over the past few months regarding, you know, being bearish in his bias, because every time he was bearish, at least at the lows, the price just completely ripped up, whether it was BTC or alts. But he did kind of sign the warning signs in April and May when the market was extremely high and then it nuked. So I personally think he's a credible source. I like the guy. I don't think he's a perma bear. I don't think he's a perma bull. I think he's just a really smart fella. And so we should definitely pay attention to him. And then, of course, Suzu, once again, talking about, you know, his position on late cryptos, bearish bias, as well as just simply talking about his insight on the market right now. He's already urged signs of caution. I don't know if people are paying attention to him, but I know I am. Okay. It doesn't matter if you are cautious. Okay. It's not like prices are just going to start ripping up, 30, 50, 100% like overnight. Okay. You're still going to get an opportunity to buy if prices do reclaim key levels. But the point is that if you're going to stay, levered long with potentially, high risk trades, well, do you have an exit strategy? Do you have a game plan to, take profit or get out or get stopped? Have you thought about what would happen, I don't know, to your P&L or your mindset? Say the market were to drop, excuse me, say the market were to drop another 20, 30, 40% from here for another 2 weeks or 1 month or 2 months. Right? I think this is the signs of caution that, these guys are urging. And again, I'm not out here saying that, all right, guys, we got to go full bear. To be honest, I think it's better to be a bull even now than it is to be a bear. So I'll put that out there. But that doesn't mean that you want to just start being an outright, you want to be an outright bull right now and just go aggressive long. You could still be spot long and have exposure in the market and still be cautious. Okay. Caution doesn't mean that you're a bear. It just means caution. All right. So anyway, other than that, altcoins wise, I think Luna looks the strongest right now, sitting above this 47 level, probably opens up doors to higher prices, break back down inside this, and then you might open up opportunities for a short. Okay. So if you break back inside this level, then this is something that I would consider back towards these lows and quite possibly lower down here. Okay. For now, not touching anything, not doing anything. Also, I'm traveling, so I don't even want to take on positions just because I won't be able to manage them. But I've spoken about, all the things that I need to. I've spoken about my bias, my positioning. That's really about it. All right. Let's see. Stock market wise, I think we already talked about this stuff. See here. I think MicroStrategy. I think they actually picked up more BTC today or yesterday. I just saw some alert. Oh yeah, they picked up $400 million in Bitcoin. That's pretty damn good. They bought 7,002 BTC. So an average price of $59,187. Okay, so just keep this in mind, right? These are obviously, some good boosts that you get in the market. I'm gonna retweet this one. All right. So anyway, looks like a good sign. Okay, at least for now, temporarily, bottoming the market. The other thing I will say is I'm kind of looking at the structure right here as, say, a descending, broadening wedge like that. And I could totally see this pop up. If it pops up and holds, obviously it could head higher, but sometimes you have this pop and then returning back down inside. And that is actually similar to what happened back here. If y'all remember, it was kind of more so of a parallel channel back here in May, where you were traversing this channel, quick pop, and then rolled over again. Okay. So I don't know if y'all remember that, but I remember I do. All right. That's about it, y'all. Take care. I'll catch up with you soon through the day. If I can update you. I think all things else are good. I think everything else is good. Talk soon. All right. Cheers, everybody.